Welcome back to the channel, good friends. I have my furry sidekick ready to go, ready to get to work. And amongst a few of these cars in the shop here, and the boys were nice enough to let me use some shop space. They are crazy busy, packed inside, packed house outside the parking lot. Amongst these cars is one I just picked up at an auction, and I wasn't looking for it. However, the bidding stopped at a crazy price. So I jumped in and picked it up. Which one is it? Let's find out. Such a good girl. No, unfortunately, this time it's not the Shelby GT500. It's not the brand new 5 Series BMW. It's not the C7. I will be getting another one of those at some point. I'm not sure if it would be this bright red. I mean, it's good looking, but a darker color, and not black again. Probably blue, metallic blue maybe, or we'll see what's available. But yes, this big obnoxious beast here, the bidding stopped at $3,700. So I threw a bid of $3,800 on it, and that was all it took. So I was happy to bring this home. I can definitely make a profit off of this. It's going to take a lot of work. This thing needs a ton of work, but I am happy to put the energy and time into it because this thing belonged to a Marine at one time. And, you know, I don't know if he just got tired of it or maybe he fell on hard times, but he was definitely in the middle of trying to fix some issues with it. But he had to let it go. And in honor of his service, I'm going to bring it back one way or another. It may not look the same when I'm done with it because I have some huge plans for this. This thing is so fun, by the way, guys. Yeah, the gas mileage is a little to be wearisome about, but it's so fun. I'm not worried about the gas mileage. Let's take a closer look. So I brought this thing home. Spoiler alert, it runs fantastic. I brought this thing home from an auction that was about 60 miles away. And I wasn't expecting to get anything that was too wide for my trailer. So I drove it back, and then I drove it with another driver to get my truck and trailer that was sitting there. And it drove perfectly fine. So I already put a ton of mileage on it. There was an issue coming back where it had a little bit of a vibration, and I have a friend on the way back that has a tire and wheel service. I stopped in, he took me right in as a waiting customer and balanced the tires, and that went away completely. One other issue. The ride home was perfectly fine. All the gauges held true where they were supposed to be. The charging at 14, the temperature never got above 195 degrees. The fuel gauge, you could watch that basically go down while you're driving. The oil and the water temperature was perfectly fine, but the check engine light came on a couple miles home. So someone reset it before taking it to the auction. That happens all the time. I did not take my OBD2 this time. This is one auction where you can take a reader and also a jump pack, but I just didn't take any with this time. So the check engine light comes on, but it didn't change the way it drove whatsoever. So whatever the issue is, it is a long-standing issue. And if you know me, I take care of the check engine lights and the mechanical and safety issues before I do absolutely anything else. Cleaning it, washing it, worrying about paint protection or paint correction or body work or anything else. So yeah, she runs perfectly fine. Yeah, as you can see, I'm gonna have to find a screen here. Hopefully I can find the another plastic one and just put it on instead of getting the whole cluster. All the lights will go away, except for the check engine, and we're going to hook up the OBD2, the reader, and find out exactly what it is. but she sounds great. She has an exhaust. That check engine light is the only thing on when you get the doors closed and you have the seat belt on. Sounds good. No smoke, no blue smoke, no black smoke. Even when you tread on it, all of the lights are working. All the way around here, the side markers. I just see one, and that's this guy right up here that needs to be taken care of. That one's working over there. It's dim, but I'll find out what's going on up there. Yep, all of the other ones. There's two up there. Everything's working except for one single light, even the license plate light. We are going to hook up the Zurich ZR15S. This is an OBD2 code reader, and the port is right here. Very convenient. Let's turn on the key. Let this thing connect. Just have to let it cycle through. Skip. Only one. Wow, that's actually surprising. And this is a very familiar code for me. The circuit low voltage bank 1 sensor 2. To me, I've been through this so many times. It's either, since bank 2 is on the passenger side, it's either going to be the O2 sensor before or after the catalytic converter. And if it's not any of the sensors going bad, there's a small, and all it takes is just a small exhaust leak in that area to trip those sensors. So, and having that being the only code, I'm fine with that. Those sensors I can get here within a day, and if it needs exhaust work, I have the connections for that. That's not going to be a problem whatsoever. One code? Okay. So what we're going to do in the meantime is we'll erase that, see how quickly it comes back, to see if there's any more now that everything's cleared, and I'll find out what it is and address it and take care of that first. So that's that when it comes to possible serious mechanical issues. That's not serious to me, so I'm good with that. Other than that, the air conditioner could use a blast of Freon. We're going to do the typical all belts, hoses, change all the fluids, and we'll come in and I'm going to show you some other things on here, but just the basic stuff. A lot of the stuff I don't show you on camera. But the preventive maintenance, especially on something, this is, when I looked online to see what these would go for, doing some quick research before the auction ended and before I put a bid in, these in good shape even with mileage up over 200,000. I've seen some of these with 200, 300, 350, 375,000. They're close to 10 grand. So I'm not going to lose much off of this. We're going to have a lot of fun with it though. So let me bring you guys in close. What I liked is when I saw there was plenty of meat on these tires because they are $2,000 to have them replaced. Still have the nibbles on them all the way around. Excellent shape. And everything's there. No missing panels, plastic panels. There were some issues that they were trying to fix with the quarter panel, and that's rust. And if I dig into it, I can order that whole quarter panel. Cut out whatever problem it is, spot weld a new quarter, and just paint it. No big deal. I'll show you. If we need to do that, I'll show you. But I do have plans for this where I want you guys to stick around to the end of the video and help me choose something that I'm thinking about with this. Again, another issue here, and I see what it is there. It's a little bit of rust issues and around the cap. And it looks like they were trying to tackle something similar around here in the mirror area. Some paint chips. Wheels could use some refurbishment. I love the cow pusher here. The paint, horrible shape. The interior. Oh my God, the interior. GM makes the shittiest interiors. Hard, just egregious plastic that cracks. And every single piece of plastic on here should be gone over. The seat, we're going to reskin it. We're going to get covers, pull the seats, unscrew this, pull off all that junk, and hopefully there is enough cushion underneath here to get new ones that look exactly like this in the same color. We're going to get a center console cover. Back here, not quite as bad. These seats aren't quite as torn up. So maybe just cleaning them up and re-dyeing them. They're just kind of parched from being dried out. The whole thing needs to be cleaned out, and we need to clean up some wires because there was a system in here, and I don't like aftermarket systems whatsoever. I think the wires run down underneath here. We'll have to pull up that lip. Actually, I could show you that here because this plastic piece you could just lift up. And that's where they run. I want to get all of that off of there. I want nothing to draw from the system. I just hate those wires. And there's some right there. So there must have been a hell of a system in here. That's got to go. Third row seating back there with just one seat because the spare tire takes up like 60 feet in the back here. The shop manager loves it. I normally just take out that whole seat, which with you pull a lever, that whole seat comes out, and she has this whole area. I lay that front. She has the whole area back here to herself. She loves this thing. She loves being up high, poking her head out the window. You can see the slobber already. So she is loving it. And I do have a ramp because this thing is really high. So I have a ramp that she can hop up and make it easy to get in and out of. GM plastic, Chevy plastic in the interior of their cars in the early 2000s. Just unforgivable how trash they are, and almost every panel in here is broken, and when you go over a bump, there is 1,000 pieces of plastics that are waving at you and making noise. So what I did is I had Brian jump in the back and put a piece of tape on every single piece of broken plastic that was jiggling and making noise and squeaking. Almost went through a roll of tape. As I went through one of our back roads, well, all Pennsylvania roads suck, so they're all bumpy. I just had to pull out on the main drag here and hit some bumps and make this thing jump around. And I am going to address every single one of them. If I don't replace them, I'm going to repair. I'm going to brace the back of them and use heat and melt that plastic. I'll show you how to do some of that stuff. I'm going to get some new pieces here and there, but not the whole interior. But I want to have this where I go over a bump and I don't hear anything except for maybe some suspension noise, which it's pretty quiet. It's a solid foundation. The frame is solid. The suspension is solid. Once we get the check engine light fixed in, I'll take you guys out for a ride and we'll have some fun. This winter is going to be fun as well. What I have planned is something a little different, and I don't know if I have this on a video yet to show you guys, so we're going to do it with this one here. I'm not going to do a paint correction and try to get this thing shiny. What we're going to do is get it as flat as possible all the way around and wrap it in something really fun. And what I need your help with is, this is fashion PPF. This is not a vinyl, cheap garbage vinyl wrap. This is cosmetic change that will be able to put up with paint protection when it comes to rock chips and, well, everything that paint protection film can guard your vehicle from. So I have some sample swaths here, and this is just a few examples. And if you find anything on your own or have seen anything that you would recommend, send it to me and I will consider it. I will show you where I'm leaning heavily right now, And I want to know if you agree. And if you see something on here, we'll go through these. Let me know what you like. They have 3 different types of carbon fiber PPF. High gloss, a medium, and a no gloss or a stealthy carbon fiber. Then you have solid colors, like this flat black here. I considered that. This is forged carbon black, really cool. And then you just have your regular carbon fiber white, satin or stealth. This is a purple. This is forged maroon here. Kind of neat, but man, is that gaudy. I like that one as well. That is a camo gray. Then we have pearl, and it has pink and blue metallic flake, and then gray, just regular white, forged carbon black, which would look cool. They have a couple different versions of the forged black, but here's a yellow. Here, I'm not sure what this is called, but that is a crazy color. That would look cool. Forged carbon black, kind of stealthy. Here's a gray. Here's a black. This one, that's the one I'm leaning on very heavily. This is black camo, and it has gray, it has clear, it has gloss matte, flat matte. I'll hold that up to the vehicle, and that's where I'm leaning so far, and some of the other colors. And if you know, FlexiShield makes some colored PPF. S-Tech, that's what these swaths are from. Let me actually take this over, give you an idea of what this is. Look at that. It depends on where you're standing and how the light is reflecting off of it. And that's what it'll show you. So that is where I'm kind of leaning right now. I wouldn't mind going all a stealth black either. So that's kind of the direction I'm leaning. I need your help trying to pick one. Down in the comment section, please. All right, that's going to do it for this video. We'll dig deeper into this. There's going to be a boatload of content, from restoring a lot of the plastics that are dull here to getting the surface as flat as possible in preparation for PPF, refurbishing the wheels, some mechanical issues. When it comes to the interior, we can go custom on it if you want to. Should we just put a stock stereo system in there, but a new one? Should we go aftermarket? Should we go all out with a really banging stereo or surround system in here? Let me know what you want to do, and I'll do it, because this is going to be for fun here. This is going to be a fun little toy. Guys, dealerships, these things aren't picked up to resell unless they have low mileage and there's a special occasion. When you get 8-9 miles per gallon, these things don't fly off the lot. These are for those specific individuals looking for them, and you're not going to see a whole lot of people carry these on their lot. So I'm not looking to flip this and make a ton of money. I know when it's time for this to go down the road, I won't lose anything. So there is quite a nice cushion to put some money into this and have some fun with it, and that's where I'm going to need you to help me. Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. Give me your ideas down in the comment section. I'm always down there. I listen to all of you, and I take all of your input and suggestions into consideration, and I appreciate it. Catch you later, guys. What am I going to do with this beast? Lots of PDR work to do, too, to get this flat. Lots of sanding to do to get it flat. More work.